2, 1, and we're live. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my podcast. I still haven't really thought of a name of it yet, so we'll go with today. Just the Adam Marvel podcast again. Hey, welcome back. So today I am joined once again by James Hatfield, Teg Boy, who you didn't briefly meet him. We were talking for about 2 hours, I think, but
yeah, it was
you met him in the last podcast when we were talking about the increase in Japanese prices. We had Andrew Strang in the last one. Today it's just me and James because we've known each other for a long time. When it comes to real life, when you actually work out my age and how long I've known you, it's almost half of my life now, which is pretty wild. Because I'm old as shit. Well, it feels like it anyway.
Not as old as me.
I know, but you're in way better shape than me. I'm just all broken and I'm a broken man being held together by sellotape, mate, and not even actual sellotape. It'll be like Tesco Value home brand at the moment.
Wait till you have a couple of kids running around the house, then come tell me.
Fair point. But I wanted to get back in on this because we were talking briefly about, we kind of briefly touched on it, and then you touched on it on one of your Q&As on Instagram. If you want to follow Teg Boy, it's at Teg Boy on Instagram, about how the kind of the culture of modified cars has changed, not just in the sense of the prices being ridiculous, but clubs, units and all that sort of stuff. So we'll dive into that too. I think it'll be a really cool conversation that hopefully a lot of people our age will relate to, and hopefully if we have younger listeners to the podcast, they'll kind of take heed from it and understand that modified cars doesn't.
You and Sam touched on it a little bit as well, didn't you?
Me and yeah, we did. Yeah. So I hope the young ones out there that listen to this, the guys that maybe are just stepping into modified cars for the first time, you don't even have to be young, I guess. It's just doing it in this day and age. If you're young, or this is your first time modifying a car in this day and age and this period, it doesn't all boil down to being the most popular guy on Instagram. And that's kind of what we want to get across, because that's certainly what it feels like it's come down to. So before we jump into this, for anybody that may not have listened to the podcast before, I want to go over what both of we have and how we met and all that sort of stuff. So can you fill us in with a little bit of your car history, what brought you into it all, and we'll go through that.
So I left, probably similar to you. It starts off in the early years, doesn't it? Gran Turismo, Max Power magazine, they were the early stuff before we could all drive.
Yeah.
When I left school
bought the magazines for the cars, not the titties. Now it's the other way.
Yeah, it's like an added advantage, right?
Added bonus, yeah.
Yeah. But so when did I left school in 2000. I was either going to wanted to move into graphic design or fix cars. Arguably, I might have took the wrong path, but we're here where we are now. But I went for quite a few job interviews at main dealers, normal garages, Cosworth, Ilmore, that kind of thing. And I got offered a job at a Honda garage. And I was only there, the dealership that I was there, we were there for probably 8 months, and then it moved to a Toyota garage. But just in that small period, that was it. That piqued my interest in Hondas quite a lot.
Did you own a Honda before that?
No, because I couldn't drive when I left school.
Okay.
And
Sorry, I didn't realise.
First job was literally on the bus, go to Northampton, be an apprentice. It was an apprentice, so it was early days. Get on the bus, go home. Mm-hmm. Passed my test. So I think it was that year, the year after, and bought a Civic, like 1.3 DX EG, blue one. Did it up, and it just snowballed from there.
I'm gonna go real Honda nerd. Was it Captiva blue, whatever they call it, or was it Harvard blue? Light blue or dark blue?
It's the dark blue.
Dark blue. I had a dark blue one as well, the Harvard blue one as well. Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool car. I mean, slow as shit. Like you think it's the fastest car in the world of 1.3, but it really wasn't. And then had a couple of CRXs. Had a non-VTEC CRX, a VTEC CRX, and then a DC2. So that's when I got my Integra Type R, and then I wrote that off. Bad times. Wrote that off, and and from that built the EK9. So it it wasn't all doom and gloom.
It did work out. Sorry, I've just got to get this little footstool thing. I'll quickly tell people just while I'll interrupt your story real quick. I've booked my first Nürburgring trip, and I'm absolutely shitting myself about it. I'm fucking petrified. I've got the cold sweats. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. thinking I've bent my M3 into some Armco that's going to cost more to fix the Armco than it is to fix my car.
Is that what you're taking, the M3?
I'm gonna have to, yeah. I'm being tight. I don't want to pay fucking extra money to trailer a car over. And also, I hear that there's a lot of good, exciting driving roads around the Nürburgring as well. And Civic isn't. I still don't plan on putting my Civic back on the road at all at the moment.
No. I mean, that wouldn't be a fun drive there, would it?
It wouldn't be a fun drive. It doesn't have windows. No. It doesn't have any heaters at all. It doesn't have anything, literally anything. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm too fucking old now. I got a bad back. I got a bad neck. If I have to drive that horrible little car that I love with all my heart, all that way, ain't happening. So I don't want to register it. I don't want to risk anyone crashing into it like an old lady or something, punting it around about. So that thing stays locked up and it gets enjoyed, and it'll be on exhibition shows and stuff like that at events anyway. Yeah. So sorry to interrupt you.
It was bad enough driving cars like that to Castle Combe, weren't it? Let alone Germany.
I didn't even drive. I drove a nice car to Castle Combe. I drove an FN1 and I hated that. I was like, I never KWs.
Yeah, but that's because you wanted it stupid low.
Oh, still do.
Do you remember when we fitted them? That was a good day. Yeah, I do.
It was a good day. We'll get into that though. I interrupted you, and I'm sorry. So please go back if you can remember where we were at before I interrupted you rudely and get my footstool in place.
The EK9.
EK9, yeah. So you had a silver lining.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
It was because I joined up. Because back in my day, kids.
Back in the day.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. You had to join car forums if you wanted to interact with like-minded souls. And it's kind of a funny story how I come across Street Legal. So just so everyone understands, back in the day, you kind of stuck to your own area for car clubs. So it was like, if you're from Colchester, you join a Colchester car club. If you're from Northampton, you have a car club based in Northampton, and you generally all hang out all the time and stuff. And I basically had no friends growing up. Like I had a couple here and there, but they were always like, I was never their best friend. Does that make sense? Like they might have been my best friend, but I was never theirs in return. I was the weird guy that loved cars. You know, I was that weirdo.
Same here.
So I then got my first girlfriend who loved a bit of Willie. So she had been around a little bit in the car scene, and she knew some people up in Northampton at a club called the Night Riders. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Night Rider, Street Legal beast. So I went to one of their meets, followed up a guy in a JDM EP3, rest in peace, ever affording to buy one of them fucking things now, by the way. No, it is not happening. And so I went up with them guys and went around the meet, and I was like, all right, there's some cool cars here. And then I can't remember the chap that used to run it, but he was just a right. I don't know. I just didn't vibe with him. So I was like, all right. So we moved on. Like when me and her broke up, I was like, well, I don't want to be a part of this club anymore. Obviously, fuck this. And I was like, who's their rival club? And it was Street Legal. So I signed up on Street Legal because I thought back in the day, I always had a bit of an attitude. Like I'm going to build just the sickest cars. So I want to throw it in people's faces. Like I'm going to build sick cars. So fuck these guys. I'm going to go over to Street Legal. And I joined up as the Honda guy. And I remember being like, all right, I'm Adam. Or AJ, I think it said my name was back in
the day. You was AJ then.
Yeah, everyone used to call me AJ. And
I still call you AJ.
Yeah, you do. So does Sonny from Honda Culture. All the OGs call me AJ, and like Ricks with the EM1, like there, I'm AJ.
I was speaking to him the other day.
What a baller that guy used to fucking be when he turned up to Ace Cafe with fucking what was it, Function 7 neochrome arms that he'd had neochromed himself. I was like, dude, like this is what fucks me off so much. Like we'll get into this. Yeah, so we that's how we met, and you were the Honda guy on the forum, so we generally spoke the most, I think. Like then you were building your EK9, and I was like, I want to just come up and take photos, and because that was when I was starting my blog, and I knew I wanted to turn it from Volkswagens that it started off as to Hondas, because my passion was Hondas. Just all of the local car clubs were Volkswagen where I was, so kind of lent towards that for content, and that's how me and you kind of become buddies. So
that was a long time ago. What are we talking? 07? 08?
It would have been 08, because I got my first car in 2017, but I didn't modify it until I was 18, because I couldn't afford to insure it if I touched it. I couldn't even put a sticker on it. So it was So that it was 2008.
Yeah, 2008. Because that was the year I built the car. And then 2009 it was finished, and we did all the shows and the
so touching on street legal for a bit, because
they were good times.
They were fucking amazing.
They were good times.
There was like a period where it was all about us lot, not me and you as a group.
No.
Everyone mattered. And then when you got to be in that VIP section on the forum and everyone was showing even more about their builds, I remember that was when it was all about being a part of something, because you had the JDM EK9 build. I was kind of doing like a Euro-esque type thing on Hondas at the time, like where I was kind of using my influence from the dub stuff in Hondas, not like crazy camera and stuff, but it was always like, my cars have got to be decked, like they've got to have genuine rare wheels, like, it was always that sort of vibe for me. Got to have a good sound system, they've got to be clean. It's all like I'm sure Honda saw my car when I color coded it all and decided they were going to color code them in the future, because I did that before Honda ever did. And then about 2 years later, after I'd shown all the people I worked with at Honda the car, they were like, oh yeah, they've started doing that now. So I don't care if I have nothing to do with it. I'm taking credit for it.
I'm taking it. Yeah. Take that.
I'm having a t-shirt made as well saying, Honda, you owe me fuck tons of money. Copyright infringement on my artistic license or some shit. I'm sure some American lawyer could work something out for me.
Probably.
And so there was like Elmo was building that crazy wide max power style Civic. Steve had his insane Corsa.
So our unit, you'll probably remember, our unit it was called Unit 9. There was me, Steve with the Corsa, his brother Andy with an Evo that was also mental, and he had a Pulsar GTIR that had been featured as well. There was Odders with his Corsa. There was also C20 Let. Paul with his DC2.
Oh, Paul with his black DC2. Oh,
it was like that was for a group of cars that were all in this little unit.
And then you had Twitch as well turning up all the time.
Twitch, with EG,
Fucking sick.
Mate, that unit was because we were there. We were all, most of us were single, or we were young. So I would go over, bearing in mind, that's a 20-minute drive from my house in Wellingborough to Raunds. Mm-hmm. I'd go over there 3 times a week, then every weekend. And all I'd do is work on my car and we'd have a laugh. That's all we did.
I used to come up as often as I could. And I'd drive 2.5 hours to come and hang out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going up to see my friends this weekend. And I'd just come and hang out. And I remember.
It was so good.
It was good. And I wanted to really touch on this and kind of go down memory lane and stuff, just because there was a very much a period of time where when we were street legal, and it was street legal against the world at the car shows, and it was it was all about encouraging each other to build the best cars you can. And if you couldn't afford to build the best car, it didn't matter. You were still part of the family, and you got to come and enjoy it. And and Maitland as well. Remember Maitland with his Golfs?
And his Golf, that was mega.
Yeah.
Everyone had a different style, which was really good, because you remember our stands at shows.
Unbelievable.
That massive
with
marquee.
Ed on the DJ.
Ed doing the DJ. So I used to go off.
We bought our own DJ along to fucking shows.
Yeah, we did.
Real DJ, not some guy with a boombox. A fucking real DJ who was part of our club. He had a DC2. He was part of the fucking club. He even I've still got him on all my socials, and when I did that impact meet at my culture, he DJ'd there again, and that's the thing.
Sam did a rap.
Yeah, man. So what it was all about was everyone just getting together and having your car on show. And I brought my mate Ryan into it, my local mate Ryan, with the green Polo. Do you remember that on the red OZ turbos? Like, oh man, it was just. And then it just park up at the show, fucking speed detail your cars, and then make sure Maitland always was so just pinpoint perfect with the range and everything. Every car had to be in an exact line, and it's so weird how stuff like that affects you, because I then took that in working for Honda into the forecourt, and I was like, I need all the keys to the cars that they're all out of line, and the boss would be like, what? I'd be like, no, it's driving me insane. The cars are not in line. They have to be in line. And they were like, what? And I put that in place at the Honda garage I worked at, because I was like, it's driving me insane, driving in every morning and the car's not being in line and the flag's not being in the right places. And everyone would bring their own booze and food and barbecue, and would all sit around and just have it was just the best. I can't explain how good it was. And this was all pre any real chance of becoming a celebrity, unless you had a fucking mad build that was featured on every magazine. Does that make sense? Yeah. So like every magazine would feature your car. And do you remember Binsey? He always used to get featured. So that's how I remember him. Like Anthony Binns, like every car he built was fucking featured. So I was like, well, he's had another car on the magazine. Like, his car was like levitated once as well, weren't it? Do you remember that? Like fucking that BMW and that, like all of these like memories, like where, you know, in like places like Instagram and TikTok, how you can like become individually famous. Like obviously I've done okay out of social media, like pushing myself, but I also have a brand as well that really had a lot of substance a few years ago when it comes to like the blog. Do you know, it had a reason that I was getting recognized, not because I was building cars, but because what I was offering back to the community, I thought. And I just felt like it was fair. I was like, I don't care if everyone knows my name, but I just want everyone to know 621. I want every Honda in the country to have a 621 sticker on it. I want, you know, that was kind of the vibe I was going for.
But the other thing back then as well, you couldn't just like build any old car, and because the only way to get noticed was build a feature car, and to get a car featured in a magazine was a freaking big deal back then. Massive deal. It was like because you could get any old photos put on the internet now. You get some professional take photos of your car and have a, like you say, an Instagram profile, or someone else put it on another Instagram profile, and you can go from there. But you couldn't build a car that was shoddy to get in a magazine. Okay, there was some, but you had to build a proper good car. And it was such an honor. If you got asked to be in a magazine, Jesus Christ. I mean, that was
the only way I can equate it now. The only way I can equate it like in more modern times was if you'd get a feature on maybe Hella Flush, you know, like the Illest, or if you'd get Speed Hunters, or, you know, like one of the real big players that everyone, you know, if you've got Mark Riccioni as one of your editors and photographers, I feel like you are a big freaking fucking deal. Do you know what I mean? Like Mark Riccioni, like back in the day as well, man. This is how like much I love my youth. Like, I'm so glad I grew up when I fucking did. Do you know what I mean? Because number one, there was no fucking video cameras on phones, so we got away with so much shit. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I feel bad for kids now. Like, all right, cool, they get like all this dope technology, but you do not get away with fucking anything. You know what I mean? Like the fucking shit I used to do, especially in my youth. Now I'm like, I'm well behaved now. Like, I behave now because people can get evidence of me doing it with just by going like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a very scary thought.
But that's the thing. You also had to go out and like
interact
because
with people.
Because there was so every other weekend was a car show, and you'd have to go and you couldn't just see. This is what I liked about the internet when we were doing cars and there was forums and stuff, because it wasn't your whole day didn't revolve around checking how many likes you got or
this is what I was about to get to. Yeah,
posting.
No one was sat around like this. No one was sat around like this.
So of a weekend, you'd go and do stuff on your car. Okay, you take your camera, you go and do stuff on your car, you take some few photos or whatever, and then I used to enjoy like going home, right, I'm going to edit them pictures, I'll put them on the forum, you have a chat for a bit, you put them on your build thread, but it was only a couple of hours of an evening.
Yeah.
Your day didn't revolve around it. It was just so simple.
Mine became it because I just wanted to piss off Bong Water and Shuthan. I love him now. I love Shoothan now, but like all I used to want to do was fuck them two off. That was like my only of the day was just to wind them up. But that was just what it was so bite. I just call Shoothan Shutdown VTech all the time. And it would piss him off so much. But I love the guy so much now. We like made amends in real life, and then we went for a Nando's, and now we're like cool. Like he's a great dude.
I mean, that was the Civic Life was awesome. That was a great.
When it was real Civic Life. When it was real. When Poom owned it, it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, did anyone go on it after that? I don't think it did.
No, of course it did, because Civic like stuff like that is only important when the original creator heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like someone said to me, "Would you ever sell 621?" And I was like, "No, just close it." And they were like,
"What's the
Why?"
point?
I was like, "Because 621 has no value if I'm not involved in it." So I can't imagine anyone. They'd have to change. I'd sell the shop, like the identity of the shop. I'd be like, look, you can overtake the website, but you're going to need to change the URL. I'm keeping the rights to 621. You know, like
exactly.
So, yeah, like back then, I'd literally go sit around the campfire and just tell stories. And if someone was going through it back then, they had everyone's support. They were like, look, let's do this, let's do that. And my favorite thing to do was literally come up to Northampton and hang out at your unit. Like I looked forward to that. I literally loved it.
It was good.
Make sure when we'd all go to shows and all meet up at the rugby club that I would, I'd make sure I got there early so I could watch everyone drive in, because I just loved seeing the cars turning up. You'd hear like Steve like everywhere, and I got a memory of that fucking Corsa, man. Like we were driving back, we were all cruising back from a show, and I must have been like one of the lead cars, just chilling in the slow lane. And this Maserati I was trying to overtake someone, and this Maserati was trying to push me along when them Grand Coupes or whatever, the Tourer Coupes come out.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Push me along. And I was like, what the fuck's this guy's problem? So I pulled out the way, and he's just gone, bah! And on his, I'm not joking, Steve was that close to this guy's bumper, and he was like, bah! Behind him, and I was like, fucking go over!
Yeah, but that whole weekend was mental. Like,
which one was that? Was that Donny? Was that when I pushed that guy underneath the Monster Energy 4x4?
Yeah, probably. but do you remember? Because on the way there, so it was a 2-day weekend, a two-day show, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So we all got up early. Went on a Saturday. It was freezing cold. It was so cold. I think it snowed on the Friday night. So Saturday morning, there was snow everywhere, and we were driving up. I was in Paul's DC2 with Odders, and there was about 3 cars in front of us on the M1 going north, and we were in the middle lane, and there were loads of Subarus coming past. I think it might have been a Japsha, I can't remember. There was loads of these Subarus coming past, and Odders went, it's all right, they got 4-wheel drive. And the fast lane all of a sudden was in shadow, and there was snow, like full snow. And he went, yeah, it'd be all right, they got 4-wheel drive. Literally, I shit you not, within 3 seconds, this Legacy come pass outside of us, but sideways, like just pitched right in front of Paul's car. So we'd pulled over into the slow lane. He went across the front of us, down an on-ramp, like a grass verge, and the on-ramp come up. He went down this grass verge, rolled the thing. He rolled this Legacy. So we're like, Paul was like, shit. So we trying to stop in the snow, like, ABSing on this hard shoulder. We ran down the bank, and the guy kicked his windscreen out to get out. I don't know why. And he got out. He had blood all over him, all over his hands. And he went, oh, shit, my phone. Like, oh, shit you not. This actually happened. And this was that show, because I'm sure this was that show.
I don't think it was that one, because obviously Steve and that, I think that might have been one of the Jap shows that went to, but I remember distinctly.
Yeah, I think that bit with the Maserati was on the Sunday when we were coming home, because that night some people stayed at the show in the snow in their tents, and it was freezing. And us, like, a load of us went, fuck it, we're going home. And we went back to Steve's house, and we all slept on the floor at Andy's house. And then we all went back in the morning. I'm sure the Maserati incident was the coming home on the Sunday.
Mate, yeah, it was definitely. I just remember that Maserati just getting pushed along by this little red Corsa. And do you know what? He messaged me the other day. I haven't heard from him in years, but I think it must have been when you shared something.
Every now and then.
And then he followed me, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" I was like, "I'm sure I reckon." Oh no way! I was like, "No fucking way!" Yeah. Used to love it. And Andy, man, I just had such such fond memories. And I'm sure these memories are not like, some of them are obviously unique, like the Corsa incident and some of them, like the club battles and like, you know, that sort of stuff. But like, for the most part, I'm sure there's a lot of guys and girls from our generation that have these stories to tell. And
loads of them.
And that's the thing as well. It's like I think back to my first ever car things that I do in my cars, and it'd be like Southend Seafront, and the absolute fucking chaos that would go on down there. Like Southend Seafront would make this opening scene of the Fast and the Furious look weak. Like it was like the most carnage, the most dangerous things I've probably ever done is when I was 17 and 18, being down there, just being down there. Like you'd be walking along and there'd be like an 800 brake fucking Supra doing a rolling burnout next to you. And the guy's only just bought it and he doesn't know what the fuck he's got. And he's just like, ah! And everyone's like, we're going to die, but it sounds cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it really was, I'm sure it's so much fun. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think I only went Southend once, but we used to do Milton Keynes on a Sunday night to the hockey stadium, and same thing. Just how people got away with the stuff that they got away with of an evening back then, because it's not like they didn't know. It's not like the police didn't know about it, because half the time they turn up and they park them in the car park. But the roads around, oh shit!
What have you done? Oh, have you done something?
Oh, what's happened here?
What's that? What's going on?
You.
I can still hear and see you, so we're fine.
Can you?
Yeah. So it's because you had about 4 billion tabs open on your computer.
That's probably why. How do I open this back up? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, hang on. I've got to sign back in.
Sign back in? We're having a technical issue right now on the podcast. So bear with us.
If you can just go into an advert.
Welcome to 621.com, the place for all your car parts needs. We have a terrible website right now, so please ring me or email me if you're after anything, because I'm very lazy when it comes to uploading products.
Right, 2 secs. I'm going to be back in 2 secs.
Okay, so James is just disappearing. I don't know where he's going. But I will just quickly talk to everybody briefly while I've got you, because it's a bit spur of the moment. This is unexpected, so bear with me here. I have booked on the Nürburgring, and it's the first time I've ever done it. I told my Twitch audience the other day all about it, and we had a look at some stuff. And we're going to get into this in the latter part of this podcast when James is back. But been looking around, seeing what to take, and I think I'm going to take my M3. I've booked my M3 on the train and stuff like that, so that's all there to be done and to be used. But he's running out of power. That's what it is. He's running out of juice. So I'm going to take the M3, but I was looking at other cars because I was like, I definitely know I want to do another build on YouTube. I've got to the point where I remember now with YouTube and stuff, I've got to stop chasing views and what I think is going to do well and just upload what I think is good. So I was like, I like making build videos of cars, moving them on quick. I've been looking at some cars. I think I've decided what I will get one day to do next. But for now, we're going to focus on the M3. I think we're going to order wheels for that. And actually, I want to hold tight because I think we're just about to get Tech Boy back in a moment. But I want to tell him this and see what he thinks as well. But I think we're going to end up ordering new wheels for my Civic that you can see here in the background if you're watching on YouTube. So I can put some winter tires on those and some wheels for my M3 where we can put some quite sticky ones on. It should be really good. I'm very excited. So if you've been to the Nürburgring before and have any advice for me, please let me know. I've watched lots of Danny DC2, so I've seen all of his videos of the Nürburgring. Are you back, James?
I think so.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I went to get a charger.
Cool. So audience, that little story just then. I hope that was okay. Let me comments down below. If you've been to Nürburgring, let me know. Let me know what's good, where's the best places to eat, and all that sort of stuff. So, back to what we were saying. What were we talking about? Car shows, right?
I have no idea. I'm completely lost.
So there was
flummoxed me, guys.
The other really fun thing about car shows, like especially ones like USC and Mod Nats and stuff, is it was like a big party. And I don't know if anyone can get on YouTube and have a look, but what they really were, in my opinion, were festivals. They were not just car shows. They were festivals where everyone got together, everyone got pissed, everyone would bounce off the limiter all the time. If you didn't get woken up by a Ford Escort, 1.4 gear going at 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. They haven't changed, by the way, because now it would just be a Fiesta ST popping and banging. So look, when people go, oh, back in the day, this never happened. Yes, it fucking did. And it was by Ford boys. It's always the Ford boys bouncing their cars off the limiter. So this is why I hate pop and bang mats, just because they go, I'd rather hear a car being bounced off its limiter because you might hear it blow up. And that was always the funniest thing. If a car blew up, bouncing off its limiter, it was like everyone in the campsite, even the security, would be like, "Way!" And it was just the best times, man, because it was just literally what the what was it? What would you call the thousands? Millennium, like their millennium years, that first millennia, 10 years in the millennia,
the noughties.
It was the tits. It really was the fucking tits. And you didn't have girls behind a OnlyFans paywall. You had them everywhere, just bending over cars for photos to get into a magazine and stuff. It was such an occasion. Sorry, I didn't realize my chair was going to lean back when I leant on it. It was such a fun occasion, and it was just so good. And that's actually where I met Mark Riccioni as well, because I think he joined Civic Life and built that crazy BMW bronze EK Civic with the SSRs on it that were like,
with
like
the offset wheels.
That was like one of the first of its kind in the country. That was a big American style, and he was one of the first to really go balls deep on it. And do you know what? He's one of those guys that I've always looked up to. I've always liked him. Do you know Mark very well? Have you spoke to him very much? Like,
no, I mean only from way back, the odd time. I mean, he used to live in Kettering, which is like 10 minutes from
so he
15 minutes from Wellingborough. So.
Always been quite a big name in any scene that I've been involved in, and he's always been such a gentleman. Like, he'll always make a little bit of time to say hello, how you doing, how the cars, you know. And I think that when you meet people like that, you're like, okay, I want to be like that guy. So I want people to leave me feeling like like, oh, okay, cool, he's a nice dude, like, you know, because I think it's very easy to just be like, all right, whatever, man, I don't actually care. Like, some of the time I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? But I don't give a fuck when my dad or my mum might talk to me sometimes. I'll be like zoned out. I might be my best mate on the phone to me, fucking son. I'll be like zoned out. I don't, but you know, now I always like go, right, get back in this conversation. You know, let's fucking hear them out. I might be able to help them some way. They might be able to help me, you know? And it was a really cool thing. Like, and the fact that he's doing so well now, like working with Top Gear and Speed Hunters and everything else he's involved in, it's dope. And
I mean, his photography is unbelievable.
He's one of my favorite photographers in the car industry now. I love it. I think he's great, and his car collection is fucking mint. If you haven't seen Mark Riccioni's car collection, it is literally like a Forza garage. That's what it looks like. A Gran Turismo / Forza garage. It's
Forza garage,
So I just wanted to really like reminisce for a bit and touch on this, because I feel like the state of the scene nowadays is very ego driven. And I think it was ego driven back in the day as well. I'm not saying it wasn't. There definitely was ego there. There was definitely, I remember a huge beef between, I don't want to name the cars. You'll know one of them because it is what it is. But there was two Civics with front end swaps, one with the 350Z and one with the S15. And they just hated each other. These guys didn't know each other at all, but they just fucking hated each other. And it was like they just both walk around each other's cars and critique them harder than any other car. And I was like, boys, both of your cars are pretty cool. Like, I don't get what the problem is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is kind of dope. I'd obviously always take our guy's side because that's what you did. It's like you support a football team, you support your club, you're a family, you're in it. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
But I hope that I really hope that this is like, obviously, like the fact that you can become an Instagram celebrity now, or influencer, whatever fuck word you want to call it, and make money from doing it. Like, just from girls can do it from just being attractive in the car scene. If they're an attractive girl with a cool car, you don't have to know anything. You don't even have to build it.
No,
you know,
but that's the problem though.
You'll get offers of money, and like I get offers of money, and I am definitely not getting offers because of my looks. That's for sure. But I get offered money a lot of the time. Shit, I turn down, and I do put some sponsor ads on YouTube and on my Instagram occasionally if it's part of the deal. But I never put it on my main page now. I did it once and I hated it. I hated doing it. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not what I'm about. So I took the money, obviously, but then on that occasion, but now I'll stick it to the stories only now because they're disposable. I see stories as disposable. You can just chuck something up.
Yeah.
It disappears. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, I think if your channel also kind of aligns with this kind of theory as well, because you did a few videos with female owners with cars.
Oh yeah. They get massive views.
Let's face it, I've got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing wrong with. I think it's amazing that everybody wants to do their own thing and build their own cars. Don't matter if you're man, woman. That no matter whatsoever. But some of them cars, no offense to them, they were very simple builds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did the video of the S2000,
which is probably the best track car I've ever featured.
One of, yeah, like that build. Still, I mean, we didn't even touch on. We probably touched on most of it. But there was still stuff that we didn't touch on. You think, I'm surprised did it not do as well because we weren't females? Like, imagine if a female had owned that car.
I think if that car had been owned by a girl, and I think also the color of it didn't help in the thumbnail. I feel like what I've learned with YouTube is that you have to have a very eye-catching thumbnail. That's why I put the flames out the back of it. I mean, the views have picked up on it now. I don't know if you've had a look recently, but it's on about 7,500. It's on about 7,500. So it's actually getting more than average for my channel, which is pretty good. So
but that's what it shows, that this goes back to the thing where back in the noughties, it wasn't as so much about the owner, it was about the car. Yeah. Like, if it was going to be in a magazine, it didn't really matter what you look like. You could be male, female, old, young. It didn't matter. But the car had to be the thing. Whereas I think now, with Instagram and social media, if you can do a good photo, and it's the person as well as the car.
Yeah.
So I think it's very different, isn't it?
It's a drastically different world. But I want to just let people know, new and old, that because I'm not against people earning some money. I want people to know that I take the money.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I love that some of these car girls can make fucking bank off of OnlyFans, off of shit like that. I fucking love it. I would 100% date an OnlyFans girl. It would not bother me. Like I just think it's so fucking cool that they are able to go, I can just sell pictures of myself in my underwear and I can make how much fucking money? Bro, if I could post a picture of me and my boxers every couple of days looking like this, or like this.
Yep.
And
we'd do it.
People will just pay me money. So I can go and buy fucking... So GTRs don't look expensive to me. That'd be sick. Do you know what I mean? If I could go out, I don't know if you've seen it, but a company selling the HKS Group A GTR from HKS for £185,000.
Is that not the one that Rick Wood built?
Yeah, you shared it. Sorry. Yeah, you shared it. You shared it earlier. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And I literally saw that and I was like, if I was one of these big influencers, like if I was making the money, I wouldn't be looking at Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit. I'd get that. That would become my track/race car that I would just take everywhere and be like, motherfucker, look at this whip. Don't look at me. Look at this fucking car. This is ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is history. This is history when cars mattered. But I just think as well, there's just a whole new audience as well. I think there's a whole new audience that don't care about the car so much. They are kind of car people. Like, cars are what brings everyone together, but they're more there for, the beefs, the drama, the who's who's shagging who's fucking, like it's almost become like Instagram and that. It's kind of like a little reality TV show.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But then there's other people doing stuff now that we would only ever dream of. Like, look what Cletus is doing.
Oh, and Adam LZ and
Adam LZ, Amelia Hartford, like just anyone like that, what they're being able to do through their ability to use social media
to monetize themselves through apps and stuff. It's fucking amazing.
100%.
And this is why I'll never say a bad word about Adam LZ. Not only because he's a fucking gentleman, man. He gets a bad rep. People are not fair to him because they are jealous. It's just that is what it boils down to.
Because he's doing Formula Drift.
And people don't put respect on Instagrammers and YouTubers and with how famous they truly are. That guy get more views per week I would honestly bet that across all of his social platforms, he will have. Oh, I just hit puberty. He will like have more, more views, more interaction, and more eyes on him in a week than the Super Bowl, which is the biggest sports event in America. So just put that into perspective. It's one dude playing around with his cars gets more eyes on him than the fucking Super Bowl that charges $5 million for 30-second ad spot. So put some fucking respect on these people's names. And like, I did a Officially Gas podcast the other day.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
One of the comments someone left, they were 1,000,000% nicer than I was expecting. I was fully expecting to be ripped apart. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days because I know that the trash can come in a little bit later. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't really want to put myself down. But one comment like popped up on my feed to say that it had popped up, and it said, "Not gonna lie though, Adam does need to up his views." And I was just like, dude, I'm trying. Like, fuck me. This is a hard game. I don't like that. Like that DMO chap. He's just bought 2 Lamborghinis in the last 3 months, and they're both amazing. They're both amazing cars. He's got a Performante Huracan. So it's not even a normal Huracan. And an SV Aventador. This dude is balling hard. He is making money. And I have got nothing against what he is doing. He is making sure.
I agree with you. I agree with you. He's the same thing. He gets a lot of hate as well.
Oh, massive amounts of hate.
Whether he entertains you or not is irrelevant because he entertains so many people. And he might rub people up the wrong way because he's way too outgoing and all that sort of stuff. But you cannot knock what he's done in the last year.
He has secured a future for his family in the last 11, 12 months. Through lockdown, he has won. He has secured a future for his family for the rest of their existence. So what is the bad thing about that? Like, that should be respected. Exactly, You don't have to enjoy everyone's content. You don't, and it's almost the same though when people, and you might be one of these people, where they go, "Oh, you like football? Football's fucking lame." But I'm like, yeah, I do. I grew up watching football because my dad took me to football matches. It was like a thing me and my dad did, and once you're in it, you can't get out of it. You know, it's like I could do my best tomorrow. We're filming this on a Wednesday. I could do my best tomorrow to try and not look at the Arsenal score, but I will be watching the Arsenal game some way or another. If I'm out, I will be watching it. If I'm fucking, I will have it on my phone. I will be checking the score because I care about it. But just because someone doesn't rate something doesn't mean that footballer doesn't deserve to be paid that amount of money. It is a business at the end of the day. If they are doing the shirt sales and the merch sales that helps Arsenal make £1 million a week, why shouldn't the football player get a cut of that?
Exactly.
Why is it only the fucking multi-billionaire up top that should be getting that share of that money? No. That individual's making that fucking money for that company. That's why they're worth that amount of fucking money.
And they wouldn't pay. No one would get paid anything if they weren't bringing a value to a business.
But I also like to say this as well. I don't think in England people like seeing successful people because we have one of the greatest, if not the greatest Formula One driver, arguably ever representing us. And
don't get me started on this.
People do nothing but try and drag Lewis Hamilton. They try and drag him. He is a fucking a young English man at the top of the hardest fucking motorsport, winning consistently.
Yeah. But it's the car.
Well, why is his teammate not winning every fucking race? They've got the same pissing car.
Exactly. And the thing is, Martin Brundle says this all the time when people say about him. The best drivers end up in the best cars. Regardless. I don't care who you are, what you do. If you're the best at something, you will be on either the best team or the best car, or whatever.
It's the same in everything. It's the same. Like football. I go back to football as well. Like go back to football. Why people bag on Lewis Hamilton? Do you know why I think it is?
It's beyond me.
I think it's because he's black. I think it's because he's black.
There's two reasons. One is black, and two, he comes across as a bit cocky and a bit arrogant, but so does everybody at that level.
Can I just say real quick? If I was, is he 6 times or 7 times world champion now? I can't remember.
7-time world champion.
7 fucking times world champion in Formula One. I would have that tattooed on my fucking forehead. I'd be going around everyone and be like, I fucking am the shit. Do you understand who I am? Like, he is such an amazing amazing man. And like, I've met his younger brother as well, Nick, and he is
Nicholas,
equally as lovely as what I imagine Lewis is. And everyone's like, well, he was shagging Nicole Scherzinger. Wouldn't you, if you could? Yeah. She is fucking Nicole Scherzinger, my dude. He prances around in fancy clothes. Yet everyone will go watch Rush and wank off over that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, so it's only cool when the guy's dead. Is that what we're saying? We've got to wait till Lewis Hamilton's dead until we can fucking start saying how much I love the guy. I think Lewis Hamilton is the fucking tits, and I hate it because in this country, the second you start getting successful, people try to tear you down. It's as simple as that. I had it all on my little miniature scale when I was doing all my car parts. The second I launched my car parts, all of a sudden there was an Adam Ivel hate train, 621 hate train. And I was like,
well, there will be, won't there? That's the problem now.
But sorry for interrupting you, but you were saying like Martin Brundle says best for each sport sort of thing. They go to the best.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like you're into your football. So I've never really been fully into football. I didn't mind it when I was younger, but I don't really watch it. I was into basketball, so I still am. I'm same with you. I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I always check the results and see who's doing well. And so, but I watched the Piers Morgan interview with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
And I used to think Ronaldo, I guess I used to think he was a similar thing, arrogant, a bit up himself. But then if you think about it, I watched the Piers Morgan thing, you think, well, he's like that because of who he is and what he does. No one gets to the level they get to of Ronaldo, elite. Hamilton. I mean, my hero growing up was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And no one gets to that level without being a little bit cocksure yourself, a little bit arrogant, a little bit like you need to know you're the best at it. Because if you don't, you're not going to win.
If you want to be an elite level at anything, you have to be 1,000,000% dedicated to your craft. This is why I'm not a pro drifter, because I still like fucking track days in my little Honda. And I don't have enough of an attention span to be like, what are the rules I need to do? Like, I need to enter what comp? Like, fuck it, I'll just go for the fun. Do you know what I mean? This is why I'm not a top level race driver, because I like fucking gaming and I like fucking, like, all right, fucking, you got that Lando Norris, who's a fucking Twitch streamer, as well as a Formula One race driver, as well as being a multi-millionaire and young and good looking. So like,
all the young F1 drivers, like Lando Norris, George Russell, all them lot are really good at gaming.
Yeah,
because they've all come from what we would have done.
Yeah.
Arguably a generation younger than us, but they've all come from playing computer games when they were little to be able to get into motorsport, and they learn that. I guess that's a way of learning your craft. But it's amazing how all of the young lads are all really good at the gaming. Like, do you watch any of the F1? Esports races?
I haven't.
So George Russell, apparently he's level on the F1 game. He would be in the top esports drivers.
Wow, right.
He's that good at it.
Yeah.
And this again was shown like when he was in the Williams last year when Lewis had COVID. He put him in the Williams, made Valtteri Bottas look absolutely average.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It's the car. Is it?
The car. He had Lewis's car.
I think we've got a horrendous issue in this country, especially in this country, because it's not the same everywhere.
No.
But where you look at other people doing really well and you get jealous and you don't like it that they're doing well and you're not. Instead of refocusing that energy on right, what do I need to do to get great? Do you know, like, what do I need to do to improve? Like, how can I get a bit of that happiness? How can I get a fucking new car? How can I, instead of doing that, they just go, fuck it. They just had an upper hand in life. It's not my fault that I'm not succeeding.
That's the social media problem, isn't it? Where you only get to see a snippet of someone's life. So if you see someone that's successful, it looks like it's all of a sudden they're successful and they've done nothing behind the scenes. You've just seen what they've allowed you to see. But that's not it, is it? It doesn't work like that. Like, no. I mean, you've been very successful in what you've done, not to the level that some people have, and you probably think at times, oh shit, I'm working as hard as I can, and I'm not quite at their level.
My YouTube is the one I can relate that to.
we all do it a little bit where we go, oh fucking hell, I'm sure I'm putting in the effort or whatever, and why? Like I sometimes think, why do I not have as many followers on Instagram as other people when some of the stuff I think I post is pretty good? But then you think, I'm probably not working the algorithm properly.
I also don't believe. I actually don't believe the content really matters that much at the moment. I think because I looked at that that garage that you shared with the GTRs. What was it called? Rickwood. They've only got 1,800 followers. Go look at their account. What is their actual account? Let me, because I want to. I've followed them.
Rickwood Motorsport or something.
Rick, I'm just gonna get it up now.
Yeah.
Because it's RICWOOD Motorsport. Rickwood Motorsport, right? I clicked on their profile and my jaw hit the fucking floor.
So they've built them cars. So they're not the original Group A cars. They've built pretty bang on replicas to spec of
They are amazing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's so many.
And they've only got 1,800 followers. So like they're engine building specialists. They have made like Capri components. It says on here they build the most incredible replica of the Group A cars. Like why would you not want to look at this?
Yeah.
Why would a Golf R popping and banging get 50,000 views, but these guys are getting 286 likes on their insane R32 collection?
It's an odd world we live in, isn't it?
It's very bizarre. And I think the problem is because it doesn't make sense, it makes it so hard to understand. And that's where the fucking annoyance comes in. And like, I think I've realized we'll touch on my YouTube real quick. Fuck it. Like, it's a personal podcast as well, I guess. So like, I think I've learned with my YouTube is that I'm not putting out content that people want to see anymore because I haven't grown with the times. And I realized the other night I was sat watching, because I love YouTube. I watch YouTube more than I watch TV.
Same here.
And I don't really watch car content at the moment. The only ones I've tended to watch recently was the Hoonigans giving the guy their Civic, because I just thought that was fucking so sick.
Oh, Nads, whatever his name is. Yeah,
and I like to keep up with the Hoonigans because they just seem like a great group of dudes that have got a very, very fucking dope boss who's just like, look, just go and just make the sickest shit. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, cool. I try and keep up to date with Jimmy Oaks as best as I can. It's hard because there's just so many.
There's so much content.
It's so hard, and I think unless you have a big blow up because of either the algorithm helps you out, like puts you on trending, so it gets you a huge audience that are interested in that one thing, and you go, okay, I'm just going to keep doing that. I haven't really stuck to what I've been doing. I'm a bit all over the place, so I'm going to try and get a schedule in place. I think that's the only way I can go forward, where Monday and Thursdays are like the vloggy build type stuff, and then on a Sunday night either it'll be twice a month, or whatever, it'll be like a story time, or it'll be a car feature, so they can kind of you know what's coming, and then you're like, oh, okay, Adam's going to post one of these that night. I'm going to eat my dinner at 7:30, so I'll watch him at 8, But honestly, I beat myself up more about my YouTube than I do anything else. Because I sent you that Spoon Sports video, didn't I, before anybody else? So you were the first person to see that. And you replied that you said that was fucking amazing. You were like,
mate, brilliant.
But it's only had 2,000 views in 2 days. That is my worst performing video out of all of them. So it's like, right, something that a guy that I look up to in the car world loves this video. Cool.
And no one cares,
but I can't get anyone to click on it.
It's so odd. It's really
and like someone
weird.
even commented on it. Like, I'll read you the comment that someone left, and it was like, it made me go, what? Like it was a nice comment. He's not being nasty, but he put, I was a bit hesitant to watch this video, but I'm glad I did. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, so if you were hesitant, was everybody else?
Yeah.
Like these. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, it leaves me going, fucking, I don't know. Do I just go find all the girls that have got fucking basically lowered cars and make videos about them because they get fucking 20 to 50,000 views a time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do I chase the views, or do I stay true to what I want to do? But this is going to be
chase the views.
This is going to be a podcast exclusive. James Tedboy exclusive. I have decided I'm not going to tell people what I'm doing, But I've actually made a new series today. Like I've had an idea for it. I've already got in touch with the first company that I want to involve in it because I love watching food shows on Netflix, on anything. I'm addicted to it, right? And I was like, why don't I just mix my two loves, which is cars and food? And I'm now on a relatively strict diet. I'm now running every fucking day again, and it is I've been today. Fuck. I hate running. But I know it has a purpose. It will help me with my jiu-jitsu cardio. It will help me with my MMA cardio. It will help me. I don't need really help with any other type of cardio, if I'm honest. I'm pretty sound everywhere else. But like where I need it, it will help. It will make me lose weight. I'll get healthier. I'll feel better in myself. I feel better now just for going for a run. So I thought I could include my cheat meal into doing a bit of a road trip. And I'll tell you off camera how it's going to go down. But I think it could just be fucking awesome. And it could be a way that I could get more manufacturers involved. And it's going to be less like vloggy because the vlogs just don't really do that well because I don't think I'm doing anything that extraordinary that fast. You know, like realistically, what am I going to be doing next? I'm going to be dropping my Sylvia down Jay's Motorsport or Jay's Jay's garage to get fixed up. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to be coming to you to have an alignment on my M3. Yeah. Like if I end up getting wheels and tires and stuff. And it's like, well, I want an alignment and corner weight. And obviously I'm going to bring it to you. That's a video. People don't realize that's probably going to cost me around £180 maybe for the alignment. And then £100 in fuel. So that's a £280 day out. The next thing I'm doing, I'm going up to Evolve next week and next Friday to have a new battery fitted and coded in on my M3. I've chose to go to Evolve, not just because they're the fucking titty bang to me when it comes to BMWs and I love them. And I think Imran is the fucking best dude ever, you know, as well. You know, I love them as a place. But it also means I can actually make more than one video out of that day because I know Imran will fucking let me wander around and play with the cars and take something out. And, you know, so it benefits me to take it to them because what could be another £250 day out, just putting a battery in my car or £300 or whatever the fuck it's going to end up costing. I might be able to make that back in an advert sponsor or, you know, getting enough views. A video might actually take off. You know, you never know with these fucking algorithms. But the problem I've got with it is I can't just do one type of thing because my brain won't let me. I have an absolute scatterbrain, whereas some people can go, I'm only going to use YouTube to post car reviews, or I'm only going to post, you know, like them guys post Project Binky. Them guys are so talented at what they do. They could be making videos every week being like, here's how we make this. Here's how we weld this together. But they are like, this channel is just for this. And that is why it's done so well, because they have got an audience logged on that watch every fucking video because that's what they've tuned in for. And I get it. And this is why I don't think I'm ever going to be massive on YouTube. And I've accepted it. And I've gone, all right, that's fine. Because this is just how I am. This is how I work. You know, this is just I don't know if I could genuinely look at it as a business. But on the same page, I am going to be starting to do my news show again on a separate channel, which will just be for news videos. This channel is just for podcasts. You know, so I'm kind of going, I want to do a bit of everything, but let's separate it all out. And you know, like my Adam Ivel channel has got such a big car following on there. I don't really want to take the main crux of the car stuff off it. Does that make sense? So, so that's just like a little insight to anybody that looks at YouTubers. And because like officially Gas said, oh, you're a big YouTuber. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, dude, you've got 60,000 subscribers. You're throwing that out like it's nothing. And I'm like, yeah, but if I've got 60,000 subs and only 2,000 people will watch a video I've posted, that means I've got 57,800 subs that aren't clicking on my videos. Or 60,000 now. So I have 62,500 and 2,200 people watch that video. So that means that the vast majority of my audience were not interested in that. And there's another guy, Albo in Japan. Have you ever watched him? Because he has some content that you will love that he's just posted. So he's an S2000 owner in Japan that can talk English and Japanese. He's called Albo. He used to be called the Drift Hunter, but he's way more Honda now. And he's just been with Spoon Sports for his last 3 videos have been all with Spoon Sports. And I've
seen the EK9 stuff.
Yeah, so it's super cool stuff he's posting, but look at his views. like 228,000, and like the honest chat with Spoon about the FK8. Like that video to me, as a Honda guy, I'm like, that should be everywhere. But it's got 6,800 views. I bet he's just as frustrated as me, going, "What the fuck am I doing wrong?" Do you know what I mean? Like, but then it's just because, like, back when we started, because he started out back in the day as well. I remember him from a long time ago. I actually met, I didn't meet him, but I stood near him at Abisu when I was over there. So he's been on there for like a very long time, like over 10 years posting vlogs. You know what I mean? Like, but I've realized, like, if I'm not watching car content, then maybe I need to spice mine up to make me fall in love with it again, where I'm like fucking so pumped to make a video, where I'm like, I've got to edit, I've got it all in my head how I want this, where instead of just going and doing something and filming it, it's like, right, I have an exact image of what this video is going to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the bollocks like DMO DJ to fucking go and like put someone on blast like he did with that chap that fucked him over with his forwards. But I was addicted to that. Like, I was waiting for every upload. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, this is fucking fun, man. Like, this is so exciting watching this. Like,
they were funny videos.
Do you know what I mean? And the fact that he really wasn't doing anything to this guy, but he was just making making it everybody out like to go like, hey, like, this guy's a fucking scammer, dude. Like, give me my fucking shit back, dickhead. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, he legit scammed him, like, proper.
Oh, full on.
You can understand what he did.
Like, I think he had a lot of like the car guy support, like me. You know, like I was like, I 100%. I love what DMO's doing because he's doing what I don't have the bottle to do. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that to that clown that fucked me around my drift car. I wish I could do that to that other garage that charged me fucking extortionate amounts and literally didn't do fuck all to. But I wish I could go up to these places and be like, "Where's my fucking money, cunt?" But I can't. Yeah. I can't do it. It's not in my nature to do something.
You have been screwed over a few times.
Yeah, I know. I think people fucking started to see me coming. That's why I've just found like you for my Honda stuff. I've got Jay's garage down here for the drift stuff. And I'm just going to stick with like the people, like I know, like the M3 I take to Evolve because they are M car specialists. The Hondas I bring to you because you are a Honda specialist. The fucking drift car I take to Jack. He is a S15 specialist. So it's like, I've got the guys now. And he's a link specialist as well. He deals with link. He fucking maps link. I'm like, sick. And cool. Everyone I deal with now is a lovely person as well. I don't have any anxiety ringing anybody up. I don't have any like caution I need. I'm like, Jack texted me at 12:30 last, like a couple of Saturdays ago going, you need to buy this. And it was like a little thing I needed to buy. I was like, all right, cool. Like, why did you think of this at 12:30, you nutter? Do you know what I mean? But I was like, it must be in his brain. Like, that's what
car people do.
Yeah. Like, I got, exactly. Well, I was up last night looking for wheels for my M3, man. I think I've settled on what I'm going to get now for it. And I think I'm going to treat this Civic to a set as well. Not of the same, but the same brand at the same time. Because I'll be honest with you, I was going to buy a set of Volks ZE40s for it. I had put my name down on a set and I was about to send the guy the money.
For the M3?
Yeah. And they were the Time Attack edition.
They're
cool, black with red stripe. But I was laying there and I was like, I'm about to drop about £3,000 on a set of wheels that I cannot monetize. Yeah. So I can't go to people, hey, look, if you want a set of wheels like this, buy them. I was like, I need my cars. If I'm going to have this ridiculous amount of vehicles, I need for them to fund themselves a little bit, you know? So I do my best with the YouTube, but it is not working. Just for instance, I'll give it, I've always been open and honest with this, but I'm going to click on my YouTube channel now. My AdSense revenue for the past 28 days is $318, which works out to being dollars to pounds. £228. And in that last 28 days, I have uploaded a
lot of videos.
I think I've uploaded how do I look at my videos on YouTube? You think of a YouTuber of 8 years, I'd know how to get there, wouldn't you? Right, there it is. So so 28 days would take us back to 10th of Feb. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos, and that includes a couple for my paid audience. 10 videos, and I'm getting paid £228 for doing that for YouTube.
Yeah.
Now think how much money they make on that, because they take a big slice of the ad rev, right? This is just my little bits of pennies that I've been dribbled down. Thanks for making the video. Yeah. Would you go to work for 10 days for £28 a day?
Probably not, no. Depends if it was fixing NSXRs all day or something like me.
But I think if you had to do 890 NSXRs and they were always like, oh, there's a little electrical fault on it, you need to figure out where it is, you'd be like...
Yeah, but just think of the road test.
Yeah, but what if you weren't allowed to road test?
Oh, no, I don't want that.
That bit's where I'm not getting the views. Does that make sense? So it's like I love making YouTube videos, but I'm not getting the views. But I'm still doing it anyway. What you'd be doing is I'm fixing these really annoying faults on a car, but I'm not getting to road test it at the end, and I'm only getting 28 quid a day. Do you know what I mean? That's just where I'm coming from. But like,
that's why you got to do. You just got to do stuff you want to do.
So that's what my new series is going to be about. And I've already emailed the company, and I'm hoping they get back up to me, because it'll be a very easy one for me to make. But it's going to involve cars and food, and it's going to be dope. And you're just gonna have to go and buy a racetrack, and then. I mean,
it will come to you.
That would be the dream. That would
be. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, that would be the dream. Right. So we're touching on about an hour on the podcast. So I'm going to change the subject now. Back to what we were talking about with Strang and car prices, because I noticed something, because we really spoke about Japanese cars being the big hitters.
Yeah.
Like the JDM stuff, like EK9s, DC2s. Yeah. They've been on a steady increase for the last few years, right? They've jumped in the last 12 months, but I think that's because lockdown has a lot of people bored as fuck. It also has a lot of people making a lot of money on crypto and on, new media ways that you never could do before. I think that, and because like, if I'll be honest, if I made £2 million on, if I made £2 million on Bitcoin, I'd for sure be buying R32 GTRs for 45 grand and not even blinking. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, I've just made 2 million fucking quid. I'm gonna go grab one of them. Like, who gives a shit? But I spoke to you about this because I don't want to say the car, but I was looking at getting a new fast road / track car to build for YouTube, and I was looking, and cars that used to be £1,000 are now £3,000. Cars that used to be £1,500. So I started the other day. I was like, I know what was cheap. This was a genuine thought that went from my head. I know what was cheap and good. EP3s. For the money, I know we all slagged them off back in the day for being bread vans and being shit. But realistically, an EP3 plus an LSD and some breather mods is a good car. It becomes a good car. Like, it's like a pretty good, capable track car that's cool. It's got lots of mods available. They were cheap, right? I went on eBay. Thinking I might be able to pick up a pretty good one pre-facelift for about 2,500. I was like,
no, not a chance.
I went on there, and there's a guy selling one that is a Cat N write-off. I think. I don't know what that is. Is that like an old Cat D? Is that kind of relative?
Cat N is like just visual damage.
Visual damage.
So no, I don't think anything structural. Just like say bumpers and headlights and stuff. Yeah.
So there is an EP3 with a fucked front bumper, front wing.
Yeah.
It's silver, and it's up for £3,500. And the guy's like, I know how good it is. It would be a $5.5 grand car if it wasn't for the category write-off. So this is what it is. Don't make me an offer. I was looking at this car, and I was like, I honestly would rather not have a track car than pay that sort of money for a track car.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about it, and I was like, I actually don't know. Like, I think what I'd actually have to do, and this is like another thought I've had going forward. Obviously, it's kind of inspired by Danny DC2 jumping into Club Motorsport, but he just looks like he is so happy when he's doing it, and I'm like, maybe I should give that a go. Like, buy a fucking car. All right, it'll be more expensive. But it wouldn't be more expensive because you pay fucking 10 grand now for a 96 spec DC2, or you can spend 8 grand and get a race car one. All right, you might not be able to put it on the road, but an 8 grand race car DC2 fucking 3 years ago, I was like, fuck me, I'm not buying that thing. It's fucking way overpriced. Now I look at one of them, I'm like, I could enter a race series with that, and that's cheap. It's got a roll cage already in it.
You can't build a race car for. So if you bought a car for £5 grand, to turn that into a race car to at least just pottle around in the midfield, maybe at the back, you have to spend double that to. Well, not double, but you're gonna have to put. I think you have to spend a lot of money.
I think you have to spend a lot of money to make it proper.
I mean, no, you can get. I mean, I do a lot of Clios. Either track day lads or people that are just getting into motorsport. I set up a lot of Clios where that's probably not a bad car. I know it's French. You probably wouldn't want to buy one.
Oh no, I have no, mate. I've got a Peugeot 405, baby. I love it. I love the French whips now.
Clio Sports are still pretty cheap for what you get for your money.
Right? I'm not going to lie. I was looking at them last night. The problem I have with a Clio is that I would obviously want to make this do okay on YouTube as well. I have a strong Honda audience, which is
that's what I'm saying. So it wouldn't work for you, but
Well, I'd make it work. I'd just be like, look, I'm doing a race series, and I would love to do a DC2 or a fucking EK9, but all of you fuckbags want 15 grand for him now, so it's not going to fucking happen. You know what I mean? But you can buy it. Even look, here you go. Clio 197 RS 200, £3,100. Buy it now.
Yeah.
That sounds to me a very good deal. And I think these are going to go up because the yellow ones have shot up in value. And I think it always starts with one car out of the lot that pings up in value. And then all of a sudden, all the other ones, people start going, oh, I can't afford that. It happened with yellow DC2s. Yellow DC2s became unattainable before all of the other DC2s. They were always the most expensive DC2. No one wanted them when they were new, but then all of a sudden, when no one could buy them anymore, everyone was like, I want a yellow one with the yellow seats. You know, yellow EG6 SIRs. I remember on Civic Life, someone threw away the yellow interior. Do you remember that? He literally put it in a skip and he was like, who the fuck would want this disgusting interior? It's bullshit. Threw the whole lot away. They sell for £3,000 to £5,000 now just for the interiors. So things change. I get it. So like, I think these Clios, I think, are going to rocket up in value as well. But I think that if I got one, I'd have to just make the explanation like, look, I wish I could do this for a Honda, but I'd have to buy a fucking £6 grand EP3 to start with. And then it's like I think you're looking at about £8,000 with an EP3 to get into Civic Cup.
Yeah.
Don't take you a pack that they sell. They do a whole thing. You can just buy a Civic Cup.
It'd be more than that.
You reckon?
Because if you got to spend £6 grand on an EP, underneath it'll be a rot bag, because they all are. They're all rotten. They're not mint unless it's been garaged its whole life, but then it's a 12 grand car, or someone's restored it, and then you got to pay money for it. Like, and then you've got, so say you spend £6 grand on an EP3, you're going to be way more than 10 to get it onto a racetrack.
Yeah,
because you got to buy tires, a cage, all the safety equipment, because you've got to buy proper seat, proper harnesses, all the fire extinguisher equipment. You got to put suspension on it, and you can't just put suspension on EP3 because they don't work. You have to put all the other crap on it. You got to put all the brakes on it, brake lines. You're well into 15 grand.
Yeah. And so there you go. You got a £21,000 race car that I would, so I would have to just do explain like, look, this isn't what you all signed up for. I know, but we're in a world now where I can't buy a £1,500 EP3 anymore. So this is it.
I mean, I bought my EP3. When did I have that? Oh, it's a while ago. But I bought. Did you remember my EP3? The red one.
Yeah.
So it had a dented rear quarter because someone had drove into it, and it had done 80,000 miles with pre-facelift, like really nice condition apart from the dent in the quarter. I bought it for 1,100 quid. Like.
My cousin bought a silver one for 900, mate. £900, and it was perfect. He let me drive it. He was like, "Take it out, see what you think." I was like, "Mate, there's nothing wrong with this car." I was like, "I don't understand."
It's not like they're rare either. Like, they were 10 a penny. Like EP3s are everywhere. You could, if you want to go and buy an EP3 tomorrow, you could go and buy an EP3 tomorrow.
In any color you want as well.
Rare. Any color, any mileage, any spec.
Yeah, and it just blows my mind that they're up for. There's a lot up for £10,000 now, and I'm like. I just can't get my head around.
I don't think EP3s are not a special enough car to warrant the money they are. They're just not. The engines are great, but the rest of it isn't amazing.
The only one I would genuinely buy, and like I had looked the other day, I looked because I was like, well, I could probably stretch the loan out I've got a bit more because I'm well with my payments and fine with it. I was like, maybe I should up the money, buy a JDM EP3, not just as an investment because they're obviously going to shoot up in value, but as a car that I could modify on the channel. I've got access to all Honda parts, so I get them cheaper. I've got companies that want to work with me, but I have nothing to work with them on. So I'm like, I've got exhaust companies like, we want to make you a custom exhaust. I'm like, I haven't got a car for you to make one for me, man. I don't want to just take money out of your pocket for nothing. And I was looking and I legitimately could not find one for sale. And I saved the search. So it pops up the notification on eBay and stuff like that now when one uploads. A very average one popped up for $9,995. And I was like, that's a £6,000 car to me. I was like, it's not justifiable with that £10,000 difference. And like, it's not even like, we'll go buy something else for 10 grand. And I'm like, I'd rather just not have anything and have 10 grand or not have the additional loan.
Did you see my story last weekend? So I did the question thing, like people ask the question.
Yeah. You said about the FN2, didn't you?
Seriously, I'm not joking when I say this. Everyone used to hate FNs, yeah.
Just mind your mic. Just mind your mic, because it's like rubbing on your hoodie.
Is it rubbing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to hate FN2s. When
Everyone
they first
did.
got, even the look of them, you're like, oh man, that looks shit. Like, it's got no more power. It's nothing special. But you look at that car now, I think it's aged really well. The chassis the rear suspension is not as sophisticated because it's got a beam in the back, but the front suspension and the front chassis layout on an FN is way better than an EP3 or DC5. Way better. It's the same as an FD2. So an FN and an FD2 are the same up front. So they kind of redesigned the front knuckle and the steering on the steering rack's completely different. So I think a good buy at the minute is actually an FN.
And you will still be able to get one for cheap now. I'm looking.
You can
for a very clean one, they are solid money. And these white ones have shot up in value again. I think people are just noticing.
They were rare.
500 of them, and they come with LSD. Yeah. The white ones came with LSD as well. And the white ones, man, I have a picture on my Facebook. If you go back far enough on my personal Facebook, I have a picture of one at the dealer with no plates on that had come in as a fresh car off the lorry when I used to work there. So I always have a bit of a love for them. I always have. I had an FN1. I liked it. I thought it was a nice car.
Yeah, you did, exactly.
I liked it. And I have looked at these again recently. My whole search history is all of these type of cars, because I was like, would one of them do okay on the channel? I have to consider that when I'm doing it, because I'm like,
well, that's the problem. Is it probably wouldn't do as well as an EP because it's an FN, and most people still look at an FN and go, "Oh shit."
Jeremy Clarkson didn't like it.
Well, yeah, this is it, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't. Weirdly, if I had the money, I'd pay 15 grand for an EK9, but I wouldn't pay 6 grand for an EP3.
Do you know what? If I had them, I wouldn't. I'd look at the JDM ones. I think the JDM one, because of the engine and the gearbox, and with it being white, and then Recaro's, it becomes a bit more unique.
Better. Yeah, and it's odd how much better a JDM EP3 is than a UK one. So I've driven both, and it's weird because like the engine in the box and just a few little bits on an EP does make a difference.
But here we go. Here's me slagging that car off. It's gone already. It's not on eBay anymore. So it must have sold already. The 10 grand, no, the 10 grand EP3 I was telling you about, the 10 grand white one. The white one. It's gone. So it's like, that's car sold in 2 days at £10,000.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. You know, and you can't knock it. It is what it is. Like you said last time, it's all about the Fords. If anybody didn't listen to that last podcast, it's well worth listening to. I do promise at some point I will break these up into sections. But I noticed really across the board, all of these cars are going up now, even the other one we spoke about, because breakers have realized the potential of the engine, and you can now buy an engine for the same price you used to buy a whole car for back in the day. So it's like,
exactly. Yeah.
It swings and roundabouts really. And it's just like, I kind of have to decide where I'm going now with it. You know, I have to kind of decide, like, I'm going to try this little series. I'm going to build my ute. You know, I've got that ute EK. I was thinking I've got a JDM D15B at home. So I was going to ask you what wiring looms I'd need to get that to work in that off camera, though we don't need to talk about now. But like, I think that could be a really cool car to like actually try and make decent now. Do you know what I mean? Like all of these cars are way too expensive. So let's just actually have fun with the ute.
You're gonna take the B16 out of it and put
no. The ute has got a D14 in it.
Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, right, because the B16, the EM1. I cut the fucking EM1. A bunch of assholes. Leave me alone.
Cut an EM1 up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, they're fucking turd. They're not turd. EM1s aren't turd. They're very, very good cars. But then you look on eBay and you get the junk ones up for $5,000 now. They're not a $5,000 car, mate. They would be if it was pristine. But then in America, you got crackpots buying them for $50,000 to $150,000 fucking dollars. So that doesn't help. I wish America would just fuck off. Stop fucking doing this shit. If you're gonna do it in private, so not everyone else gets fucked over.
Stop paying big money for cars and bring a trailer, because it makes everyone over here get. Ooh, S2000 for 80 grand.
That rusty Civic I've got's probably worth a good $12,000 now. Fuck off, mate. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch on it because I feel like we unfairly targeted just JDM cars, but look at Mark 1 Golfs, look at fucking,
it's all cars. It's all cars.
Yeah, and I think what it is now as well is a lot of the cars that might still exist, you get people like me and you just like, well, I can't replace it if I ever want to, like I could have done 10 years ago. Like I could have sold my EG 10 years ago and then bought another one tomorrow if I wanted another one.
Yeah, you can't do it now.
Can't do it now. It's impossible. So I've gone, okay, I have to write off the money for the EG. It might be worth 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 to somebody, 20,000 to the right man. I'm never going to get that money because I am the right man to own that car. That Nissan Silvia, I'm writing that money off. It's gone.
Yeah.
That is a priceless object to me now. So it's like, okay, I have that. Oh, people are like, they're worth loads of money. I'm like, not this one. It's worthless. What do you mean? Why do you still use them on track? Because that is why I bought them. And I'm not going to go and buy a fucking Clio in exchange for money for my Civic, because my Civic is the fucking tits and it gives me so much happiness driving it. Honestly, like that happiness is unparalleled to anything else I can do with inanimate objects, you know?
See, I think I said this in the last vlog, but podcast. Like, imagine you're on track in 10, 15 years in that EG. Oh my God.
I will be.
I mean, that's a sight. That's a sight, isn't it?
And people will still be able to hear a B series being bounced off the fucking limiter down the straight at Snetton. I'm going to be borderline rubbing them Gen 1 spoon mirrors up against that fucking wall because they cost me £200, not $3,000 like you idiots are paying for them. And I'm going to fucking stick it on that wall and I'm like, as I go down there. While everybody else is like, or it will just be silence because everyone will be in electric cars by then. Yeah. But I'm going to still...
There's only two parts I ever regret selling. I've sold so much shit in my time. There's two things I regret selling. The dash clocks and the center console heater control panel out of my EK9. Yeah. Why did I sell them?
Do you know what I regret not buying? I regret not buying spoon clocks, mate.
Spoon clocks, yeah.
They used to be 250 fucking quid. And then I blinked and then there was an extra zero on the end. And I'm like,
yeah, and the rest.
What did I miss? But they're probably like 6 to 10 grand now for a set of them. And I'm like,
I think,
what did I miss? Hang on, where did I go for 10 years? These prices didn't just lurch up like that. And that's what I feel about EP3s now, because I bought a Premier Edition a year and a half ago for $2,000 or $2,500. I think I gave Kieran for it because he didn't want it. It was run out of MOT. It needed a bit of welding. I was like, I'll fucking give you $2,500 for it. Yeah, fuck it, I'll give you $2,500. I sold it for $4,000, but I got it for an MOT. I welded it all up, did it properly. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it went to a raffle company who always overpay for vehicles because they know they're going to double their money on it anyway. They don't give a fuck.
Their money.
Yeah.
But a really good friend of mine, he's done the same recently. He works at a Toyota garage, and they had an EP3 come in probably just over a year ago. The front was crashed. Done the slam panel, needed a radiator, front bumper, and I think the bonnet was all right. So not a lot of parts really. Mm-hmm. So he paid cheapish money for it. Like, he didn't pay a lot for it. And he's also got a Clio. So do you watch the Gear? Is it Gear? What's his name? Gear name? Oh, I can't remember his name now. The guy on YouTube who's putting a K20. That's it, Marcus.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm like, mate, you've got the Clio. You've got an EP3 that either you're going to repair. It's not great underneath. You're either going to repair it and use it, repair it and sell it, or you've got a K20. Take the engine out and we'll put it in the Clio, because that would be a sick car. You got a proper cool little Clio with a K swap in it. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, we'll do that. And he started breaking it. And the other day, he obviously went on Auto Trade or whatever piston, and he was like, Jim, have you seen how much EP3s are going for? And I'm like, well, kind of, but he's like, yeah, I think the car. He's took the engine out. He's like, I don't know if the car's like $4,000 now. And I'm like, well,
easy $4,000 car now.
Yeah, that's the problem. And he's like, oh shit. So now I'm like, yeah, but you can't. What, are you going to put the engine back in and put it back together? Like, he's now in that position where he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But I said, the engine's out, mate. Just crack on. You'll be able to break it for bits, because as the price of all the parts go, as the price of the cars go up, the price of the bits go up.
Yeah.
And people are still going to want parts for it. So. But yeah, same thing. He's gone in from a car that was probably 1,500 quid to him, that might be worth 2.5, 3 sold. Is now 4, 4.5. Like, oh shit! I could have sold the car and bought an engine and all the other bits that I need. So, it's a real funny one. It's very strange.
I don't think the prices are ever going to go down. I think what we are going to see is the prices go down for some of the less desirable models. I think at the minute, everyone is just putting everything up at top money because everyone's struggling for money. A lot of people are struggling for money because of these corona fucking bullshit restrictions that the government are still making us live by, which I am not a fucking anti-vaxxer. I am not against COVID restrictions for the most. I understand. I believe we should wear masks, but that's because I've grown up traveling to Asia where they always wear masks when they have a cold or anything anyway. Like to me, it was just ingrained in me anyway that that's what you should do. We just never did it here, so I never did it here. But every time I went over there, I did. So it's just natural, you know. But I feel like at the moment I think they're taking a piss with these restrictions now. If I'm honest, why can't I go to a fucking track day? What harm am I going to do?
Well, America's pretty much back to
wide open.
Well, back to normal, but they're pretty much back to normal.
Yeah, and there's other things with this virus. We won't go into this because I think this could be conspiracy theories out there. But if we've all locked down and nothing's open, but the deaths are all still the same, someone explain that.
Yeah,
it should It should have gone. Okay, no one's outside anymore. All right, okay. There's only a couple of dickheads spreading it. No, and that's now where it's like, and they're like, oh, it could go back up. I'm like, I don't care. Cool. All right. Sound.
They're saying it can go back up, but we're all getting vaccinated. I thought that's the whole point.
Yeah. I mean,
they're saying you can't travel, but I thought we're all getting vaccinated for a reason, so we can all get back to normal.
I don't know, but I don't like it anymore. And I think I realized earlier because someone retweeted one of these like anti-vaxxers onto my Twitter because I love Twitter, by the way. It's fucking the sickest app ever. Someone retweeted you'd like Twitter, mate. It's fucking dope. So like you just get to give people shit all the time. I got time. Just use it for your news in the morning, mate. That's what I use it for because it's like real time. It's sick. So someone retweeted going, it's crazy how in the last year the government have made it illegal for two people from different households. They can't have sex. And if you do, you can be in serious trouble, and you can't have friends or family around your own house. It is now illegal. Yeah. And I sat there and I was like, oh, fucking yeah. Motherfuckers. I pay how? I should be subsidized on my fucking mortgage payments then. If I can't use this house for what I want to use it for, the government should subsidize my fucking mortgage. Otherwise, get to fuck. Because I'm paying a lot of fucking money to live in this fucking house. And I don't, it's fucking annoying. I'd rather fucking save this money and buy an R32 GTR. Like, it fucking pisses me off. Like, all I want is an R32 fucking GTR. And I'm watching these prices go up like $5,000 every 2 months now. And it's like, they are getting further and further away from being attainable. Do you know what I mean? You want
to text Yards and say, do you ever regret selling your R32?
I have. And he even texts me after our podcast going, dude, I regret fucking selling my R32 so much. He even said that when we went go-karting because he comes go-karting with us sometimes. And I fucking love him, mate. He's such a good dude. Like, I was so lucky that on your stag do you put me in that fucking room with him because I was like, I felt blessed. I was like, man, you've actually hit me up with someone that I will actually be friends with. This is so weird. Yeah. Like,
such a dude.
Yeah, but he was he goes to me the other day, well, not the other day, like when we were allowed outside to interact with our friends. He said, we were talking about it and he was like, mate, I fucking missed that thing. He was like, it was so cool. And I was like, that is the only car, I'll be dead honest, that is the only car out of all of them I think I would overpay for this side of an NSXR.
An NSX. Even regular NSX, mate, they're
chaos
money.
Mega. Yeah, like but they're chaos money. You're paying $45,000 for an auto, like NA1 auto with 80,000 miles on it, and I'm like, oh god,
I don't want an auto.
I don't want an auto. And how hard is it going to be to find a manual gearbox to do a swap into? Do you know what I mean? And then how much is the price on top of it? It'd have to be a manual one. I love automatic cars. I'm going to just put that up there. I think autos are fucking awesome, but not in a sport, not in a pedigree built sports car like the NSX.
But not old automatic.
Yeah, not old automatics.
Like 90s automatics was shit.
I'm not going to lie. My legend automatic was the titty bang. Yeah. I loved that legend with all my heart. But even trying to get one of them, I paid $1,000 for that, right? I paid £1,000 for that car. I put the coilovers and wheels on it and I sold it for £1,500 working. Someone fucking crashed the fucking thing so bad and they put it up for sale for £1,500. And someone tagged me and it was like, buy it back. I was like, you fuck off. Why do you want me to throw my money down the toilet? I'd spend the next 8 years trying to find a fucking indicator for a Honda KA7 Legend that I'll probably have to pay 400 quid for. Oh, mate, don't get me started on it. Like, it drives me insane because I think that's the other problem. I'm gonna end it on this one, really. The other problem I've got is that I kind of built my social profiles and I got an ego about it. And obviously I feel good when people are complimenting me and watching my videos and all that shit. It makes me feel good. You know, when I get a banger of a video, I tend to be on a really good day. I get that dopamine kick and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I think the expectation for myself is to be doing stuff like DMO's doing with his K20 EK9s and stuff. I do not have the budget that he has. I just don't. I don't know. I think he's got like 8 businesses that are all absolutely popping. He's a DJ. Like I said, he's I look up to him, mate. Like when it comes to business, I'm like, that dude knows what he's fucking doing. And I now need to figure out the way that I can build an empire like him, but in my own way, because it's never going to be like his. So I can't do what he's doing. I can't just go out and buy an EK9 and drop a K20 in it overnight. I don't have that budget. I can't even afford an EK9 shell at the moment. I think one sold for like £6,000 the other day on the EK9 for him. Like a rolling shell, but it was like a rolling shell, but it sold with like no engine for £6,000.
I paid 2.5 for mine.
Yeah. And like, if I could, I got offered one last year for £4,000. Was it last year?
What, a shell?
But it was rotten. Like, all of the floor pans needed replacing. And I was just like, this is going to be a £15,000 car by the time we even go to do anything to it because of the amount of fucking restoration work it needs. And that's, I think out of everything, I'm a little bit bitter about it because I think a lot of people that are buying these cars don't realize the amount of work it's going to undertake to make them worth the money they're actually paying for them. And then the rest of the monopoly gets stung with that high price because they might pay £8,000 for an EK9 and then it needs £6,000 spent on it to have all the inner arches, outer arches, seals, floors done. Oh, it needs a fucking respray. All right, are you really going to do all that on the dodgy if you're going to try and sell this car in a few years for £15,000? You're not. Exactly. You can't because you'll get people that are going to spend. Let's say you did really well in business or in something, and you were like, I want a road EK9 that I can take to car shows, and I've got my track one. I want a road one to go with it. You're going to go like I would and pick that car apart if you're paying top money because you remember when you didn't have to pay top money. So you're going to be like, well, I paid £5,000 for one of these fucking 12 years ago, and it was 10 times the car this one is. I'm not giving you £15,000. But
I'm just going to steal John's.
Oh God. I'd go Nick Halves, mate. I know where he's keeping it as well, Harvey Havel. I know where that car is kept, Harvey Havel. It's in a secret location now. That's how
you go take that. I'll go get John's, and we'll go
ship him to Florida. We'll ship him to Florida and run off to Mexico. Road trip to Mexico. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Driving to Mexico from London in 2 stolen cars. That would be a clickbait video. 2 stolen EK9s. We're gonna get to Mexico, baby. So yeah. Right. Thank you for coming on again, dude. I really appreciate it. We'll definitely get you back on again because I'm sure there's loads more stories and stuff we can talk about.
Miss loads of stuff. Yeah.
Go over to James's Instagram at Tegboy and at Northampton Motorsport of his place of work. Check him out. Give him some love. My Instagram is at Adam Ivel for anybody that wants to follow me. IVELL. Did I say that right?
Yeah. IVELL.
Why did I feel like I had a brain fart when I tried to spell that the first time? IVELL. I said that right.
That's right. Yeah.
It's IVELL. Fuck me. But we're gonna sign out now, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening if you're listening on one of the podcast apps, and we'll see you again in the next one. Hopefully subscribe, motherfucker, subscribe, or I'm gonna punt you so hard in the gooch.